anything. We are here going live, and we're just gonna kind of get into it. I don't even know if I sound good. How are we sounding? Like,
I think we figured
do,
that
do
out.
I sound crispy?
Now you do.
Crispy?
Oh, so
Have you ever heard the
I
word
was always told.
swampy?
What's that?
Have you heard swampy lately? I've heard swampy a few
Swampy.
times.
I felt swampy. I live in Florida, but we don't want to talk about that kind of swampy, right? You know what?
No,
The
I was
swampy
thinking more
here.
audio. I wasn't thinking visual.
Oh no! But I was taught. I don't know where I saw that you should always use a shaka bra distance between yourself and the microphone. So if you're not a shaka bra, you're not going to get clear, peaceful audio. Like the dude, audio abides. Yeah, you need a shaka bra.
Shaka bra.
Shaka bra. Now, Chad Horn has a Shure SMB. It's sitting in a neat little box, but we got to get him the XLR and an arm that loves him.
It's just a moral victory at this point.
Yeah.
But,
dude.
Yes.
Eventually.
Wait, proudly show that device, right? People watching this will get it. Hold it up. We're talking. So everybody's watching right now.
There you go.
We are on the road. We're on the road.
Oh, that's the good
We're
one.
on the road to CES. That's right. We are on the road to CES. That's on the road music. You know, back in the football days that I used to pretend I watched, and before I turned into a barbecue guy that only watched during commercials. Sorry, guys, I'm a real nerd. I just remember on the gridiron, right? You know, the road to. Let's make the music again. Chad, Michael Beck, they're headed to CES. After a long and grueling 2024, they have pulled out all the stops on their game. Oh man, it ended. I wanted to do some more. It was great. Anyways. Are you sure you want a piece of this? I mean, this is your chance to back out. I'm making announcements here. And he's got a sapsucker, so we know we're good.
No, it's us. I'm rock star in it today.
A rock star.
Yeah.
I want you to guess what my beverage is here. I don't think you could, but Chad Horn could. He knows what it is, but it's not logical that I be holding this. What am I drinking? See, I need Jeopardy.
No,
music.
Jay, go first. I'm not positive.
It looks like it's is it a bubble tea?
No, it's not a bubble tea.
Frappuccino?
You are pretty close. So this is a cold brew, but is a bourbon barrel cold brew.
Ooh.
And so this is one of my favorite things on the entire planet. You can only get this at the Starbucks Reserve Roastery.
I did not know that's what you were holding.
Yes, the Starbucks Reserve Roastery, and what they do with this is they take the coffee beans and they put them in used bourbon barrels, and they let them sit for some indeterminate amount of time until they impart all that delicious bourbon flavor. And I, not being a drinker, do enjoy the taste of bourbon, and now I get to have a little best of the both worlds and super caffeinated.
You reminded me I have a bag of that in my cabinet that I still have to use.
Pinky up, Patrick. You have to make sure you're very fancy when you drink this.
I had a similar one now, but it was called, never mind.
I have to know because it's in Canada, so probably some ungodly maple something moose.
No, it's bacon. No.
Bacon.
It was. No, I drink this much cold coffee in the morning, and that's probably why I was having some weird feelings this afternoon. But here's the thing, though, is I heard that you're supposed to take coffee, and because I'm on this stupid Ozempic thing, you got to take protein. So you Chad, sorry, this is gonna be bad. So you take your
this is the best episode ever. We aren't talking about shit yet. This is great. Keep going.
This is
real life shit. We're getting into it. Let's go.
Okay, so coffee, and then you take a scoop of your protein shake.
Okay. And you throw that over your shoulder.
No, you blend it together. You blend your coffee and your protein shake together, and then you're getting both best worlds both together, right? And then
I wouldn't want my one world to meet that other world. The taste is too important to me.
It doesn't do. It hits you later.
Yours is a delivery mechanism. I like the flavor. I can tell this. This is about getting caffeine into you. I'm about the taste.
But
I'm judging.
Protein increase.
No. What do you need protein for?
You're supposed to when you're on this.
What's it ever done for you?
I don't know. It's grown a mustache since the last time.
Okay, all right. So a great mustache comes great responsibility. Okay.
Horrible.
So we're going to get off of the subject of Jay's porn stash and more talk about the amazing road to CES. Here we are, January 2nd. How many times can I do this to annoy the shit out of Chad? We'll see.
Chad.
One more time. One more time.
All right, one more time. Okay, so we're off the road again, and we're parking. We're going to talk about CES. So who can answer the first trivia question of the day? What does CES stand for?
Oh, I was thinking of that the other
Ooh,
day.
what is it? What does that mean?
It seems obvious to me, but I'm not. Now I'm thinking, is it a trick question? Consumer Electronics Show.
That is, you're correct. I need to get a little clap track in here, right?
Oh, I have one.
All right.
No, I don't. I have one.
Let's hear it.
No, it's not. Oh, you know what? Did you hear it? Okay, well, that button's not working then. So,
You're gonna have to bleep me, but it might mean cool electronic shit.
I was thinking cheddar, but I won't go there. Ooh. It's not? It's got to be.
I know. I was ruining this because I screwed up all our stuff for the sake of a sound sample because I was going to ask a question and then I'd go. Oh, I was recording the Jeopardy theme. I did not grab it, but yeah. Anyways, I thought it was consumer entertainment show the first time I heard it. Because it's entertaining, it's consumer, but yeah, it's electronics.
Do people still use electronics?
Isn't
electronics like an old word?
What would the current word be?
Is it? I don't know. Sorry. I think electronics. I think like that stereo from the 90s.
Oh, like a hi-fi.
Yeah, that we all had.
All right. So trivia question just for Jay, and only he would know this. How much did your parents' biggest TV weigh?
You had to have, remember you had,
right? Like think about how big that bitch was. Like I broke a toe on a TV, and it wasn't because I stumbled into it at night. It was carrying it. That 500-pound fucker fell on my toe.
How much oak wood was on?
Yeah, like we tore down forests to make televisions. Right now we mine dinosaurs. But we were like Flintstones. Did we have a stone version of a TV? I mean, did we start with a rock and a chisel like Flintstones? Then we got to wood. Now we're plastic.
It matched the cupboard.
Okay.
Awesome.
I think we're off topic. We need to get to CES. Sorry. We're hold on. We're on the road to CES. We're back.
There's the one. There it is.
And Chad officially quits.
No.
Go to your own show.
This was the margin you had, and now it's used up.
Yes. I beat it to death, a la Family Guy style. Yeah, that's what my wife loves and hates about the show, and loves and hates about me. Is I take the joke 5 beats too far until it's actually not funny, and then finally 5 more beats, and somehow it gets funny again, at least to me. And so, yeah. So we're on the road to CES. I'm not pushing the button. Chad, my friend, my business partner, my buddy, my new travel companion, we're going to be soldiering into the land of consumer electronics.
Yeah.
What are you excited about?
130,000 other people. So this
ocean.
This is my first show.
People go to that?
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's massive. My rule of thumb on this, it's probably just me. It's like we go to the National Restaurant Show, right? I just think twice as big as that.
Twice as big as that?
I think so. About that. Yeah. It's like maybe bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Sorry, slow pitches. I have to hit them. It's not my fault.
Wow.
Don't hate me because I'm drawn this way. All right. I always keep going, Chad. I totally cut you off.
What am I excited about? Other than being at this thing the first time and seeing the logistics insanity that must be this show.
So you've never been?
No,
you've
correct.
never been.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's bedlam. And then so we're going with another party who prefers to remain anonymous. This is a very mysterious party. But the party brought us some good information by merit of all these big ass parties, like just the NVIDIA's party, like the crazy big guys. There's parties for everybody up in there. And so one of my missions there is going to be my Forrest Gumpian ability to show up in the right rooms, and we'll see where we end up.
Yeah.
Now I don't have any Google goggles, so
I look at it this way: like this is a show that they're gonna go we're going to need you to check in at the airport because we don't have room for you to check in at any of these venues.
Yeah.
There's too many of you.
Literally, when you get off the plane, you can check into the show at the airport.
Serious?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we think about that for Saskatoon.
There we go.
Wow.
How you gonna keep on down on the farm after they've seen Saskatoon?
No? Okay. I'm just trying stuff out. It's all bits. Okay, anyways.
Okay, it's okay.
All right. Just don't do that
All right,
again. That
so-
look of shame.
Beyond all that, I thought about like what am I actually most
Yeah.
excited to go and see that maybe has some business value, and
Yep.
one of them is like this show is like the place for VR, XR, right?
Mm.
That kind of stuff, which we know is massively impactful to the industry in the next few years. So really excited to see what all these companies have to offer, and there's like hundreds of them. That's one.
So I think that's friggin' wild. All the things that are out, like, I mean, Google just announced there's a new VR that they're putting out that's supposed to be the Oculus killer, the Quest killer.
Really? Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I imagine, we get to try it. That's the thing. Like, this is the fountainhead from where all the new stuff comes that we're going to see next year. If it ain't here this right now, you're probably not going to see it until next year.
Yeah.
Right. So when they launched drones, there were swarms of them flying around the building and people were just figuring out what the utility was. Right. 3D printers were big when I went for the first time, and I saw some really cool multicolored renderings of all my favorite statues done photorealistically. Right. They had some of the first transparent TVs that are now getting more into the mainstream.
Mhm.
They were proud of the first 75-inch flat screen that was coming out, and now we're in the 110s for regular commercial use, or for regular commercial users. This is where it all starts.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing there is, one, we're nerds, and we're probably gonna get in some trouble, at least me, for what I'll probably end up spending as a self-proclaimed early adopter with an island of misfit toys, meaning all the stuff that was no longer attracted to me after the first couple of weeks. It lives in my garage and is. You ever see that old claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Remember, and they had Hermie and the Island of Misfit Toys that they abandoned?
Yeah.
I have a yes.
It didn't age well. That
No.
show is messed up.
Oh, it was terrible. It was. I mean, what do they call it? What's the term? Is it bigotry? Or I mean, they were exclusionary, right? These misfit toys were just no good. But anyways, yeah. So I got this from my mom. She would buy
Remember the song?
Huh?
Do you remember the song, the Misfit song?
I am just a misfit.
I knew you would know it.
I know it's the jingle in my head. Yeah, my mom taught me bad habits around early adopters. She bought a panini machine, and that ended up in the garage. But then she really needed a quesadilla maker, and that ended up in the garage. And then she got a George Foreman grill, and that ended up in the garage. They're all the same fucking machine.
You just
Literally. And I do this too. I have like 6 VRs in a drawer over here that I've gotten over in a really quick series of things. My whole garage is filled with stuff like that. So, Chad,
That's why you're pawning this stuff off on me. I know. That I have to take it home because
You're getting hand-me-downs?
take it home and love it. And I promise you, Pam will pay you a handsome bounty if I come back not that poor,
Yeah. All right.
because
I'll
this is dangerous.
have to police you. Give me a budget that I'm going to make you.
We have no limit on our company card. Anything can happen.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
I'll take away your card.
No. Just hand me
Just
the
for the
keys,
show.
Jack. We're going inside. Yeah. All right. So back to the show, right? And so anyway, we invited the amazing Jay Ashton, Canada's restaurant guy, here to. Actually, he's not even Canada's restaurant guy anymore. Actually, he did a rebrand. Nobody
did
knows
a
this.
rebrand over
He's
the
more than a guy. He's more than a guy. He's a coach.
You know what's interesting is that I think you had to diversify the word guy. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Diversify the guy. He's more than a guy. We have to go past the surface. What's under guy?
Let's not go there.
It's like a scratch your lotto ticket. I'm terrible at. What am I going to see here? Oh,
You know, the interesting part that I find that I like about what you guys are going to experience is I'm reading up on. I did some homework and looking at CES and looking at this whole thing on the wellness side. You're talking about the AI powered skin chat solution that helps consumers develop customized skincare routines for every life stage.
Huh.
That is freaking cool.
Wow.
Do you think so when you look at like
I would have
AI,
thought that you would have come back with that application for AI. Like of all the things you could say, I'm really excited about. Yes, a nice skin regimen to get my dewy, complexion under control. These very brutal Canadian winters are quite harsh among all the salts in the road that seem to erode your
the
pores.
dry skin up here. No,
I was attacked by a beaver, a badger, and a moose simultaneously because I look like a lizard.
It's not just the tech. That's not technology or as electronics, as we like to say it.
Yeah.
It's hitting the areas within wellness and health, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the show, and I think that's really cool because I think
so.
I think that blends into the industry that we're a part of in a way as well, because I think we're going to see AI adapt into diets more. I think we're going to see that blow up this year.
Oh my God.
I think we're going to see, we already are, right? Like it's already customizing people for diet plans, program plans, healthy eating. AI is going to live in that space. And I think there's it's just the physical driver of what that's going to be is going to be interesting to see.
Oh gosh, my mom, a couple of years came back with a diagnosis of dementia, right? This is one of my weird stories that turns out good. And so I went through the process of the long goodbye with my mom for about 3 years. Like you start detaching yourself, you get kind of used to what's coming, right? And it was brutally painful. And one day she calls me and she goes, "Hey, guess what?" And I go, "What?" "I don't have dementia." I'm like, "Oh wow, the dementia is really getting bad." She's saying that, and she goes, "No, I was on the wrong medicine."
No,
something she'd been taking for that whole effing 3 years.
Are you kidding me?
They didn't identify the medication she was taking that had a reaction that would cause diminished mental capacity in a cumulative nature, right? And so I lost 3 years with my mom. She lost 3 years of her life, right? And had there been some AI involved, and I imagine blockchain is a combination of AI and blockchain, people would not have these cross medication issues or a much lower incidence there. You know,
I'm so glad you brought. Well, that's great that turned out. I love the fact there's a good story there because we hear all the negatives, like it's going to change the world or it's the Terminator crap. I hear all the time, but I think
that still figures out doesn't need us, but we're good for a little while.
Exactly, we got some time. But I love hearing stories like that because I think we look at the positive of what technology is and where we're going with AI.
Oh
and
man,
what you guys are going to see here, I think is so cool when we look at it in a positive scope, opposed to always looking at things in a negative scope. And we tend to because some of this is very fearful, right? Like it's scary in a way, right? But that's a great story. That's a brilliant story.
Well, that's actually the shows we've been doing. The breakout sessions. There's been, I think, like of half a dozen of the shows I went to this year. At least 4 of them had a focused breakout session, AI enemy or friend, some version of that, right? Is it coming for my job? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that, or whatever it is, right? And so, what the unknown is fear. So we're going to fear it first. We're going to try to understand it. But I mean, the benefits are massive, but also the opportunities for misuse, I can imagine, are equally massive.
But that's with everything, right? Like we freaked out when you could Google your name and stuff came up on who you were on Google for the first time.
That was before we were okay getting rid of all our freedoms. It's all good now.
Exactly.
We've come full circle. I hope everybody knows me. Good. Let's do that.
Yeah, who am I? Exactly. Or when you Googled your old girlfriend and that came up, right? Like those things I think that freaked us all out at that time. And I think I say right now with AI, we're dancing and we're stepping on toes right now of a part of the dance. We learned to dance with it and we learned to work with it. This is the first time.
That was my phone.
Was that a Canadian goose? I hope that's not my ring.
What was it, Rodney Dangerfield? Somebody step on a duck? Hey, yes, Sam.
Yeah, amazing things with AI. Downsides too, but one of those downsides that I think is overblown is it's coming for jobs, right? Because it might, but it will also create a ton of jobs, and it's going to make the jobs people already do and some of the jobs people hate better or go away, right? And that could be a good thing.
I agree, Chad. I think sorry. I think it's going to save our industry. I think it's going to save the restaurant industry because the denominator that causes the failure in the restaurant industry is the human. When you look
Right.
at the math, it's actually the human equation.
Right.
Is the part that is, and it's not the human's fault in a way. It says that we didn't have anything to replace that decision making. It was humans had to make those decisions. So now that we can have something to help us in that space, that is a lot smarter in a sense of the knowledge it can bring to us. Why not? Right? Like up to now, we've only known what we only know within the circumference of our area, like our knowledge base, right? So we only know what we only know. And now we know more than we've ever had in the ability to help us with our business. I think it's going to be a savior of the restaurant industry. There's my two schmuckles.
Well,
Your two schmuckles.
there's over 1,400 companies exhibiting at CES
1,400?
that are under the AI category. That's just
Serious?
That's just the category. Holy cow! How many exhibitors are there?
I don't know.
Chad?
I don't know, but then I guess you could probably be in more than one category. But that is a lot of stinking companies doing AI.
Yeah. That is. I mean, this is explosive, right? I mean, every corner you turn, it is the next thing. In fact, when we saw Seinfeld a couple of weeks ago, he's like, "Aren't you sick of hearing about the word AI? It's everywhere now." It just he riffed for 20 minutes about how he didn't know what it was, and he just riffed. It's so.
Now I have a question for you. When you spell AI, do you make them both capitals?
Yeah, but I don't know if you put periods between them.
I don't know. I've been thinking about this lately.
Both capitals, no periods. But
no periods?
I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way. It's just how
I just don't like doing the second one with a capital. It looks goofy.
It would look more goofy to me than not at this point.
Yeah, you need bookends, man. It falls off that cliff and slides down the eye. I mean, that doesn't
like
work.
A being a capital, and then little guys are little dot. It's kind of like the
little eye. Oh my lord! All right, so back to I'm about to hit the button. I'm about to hit the road to the CES button. You do not want that. Don't make me moderate this. So let's kind of start thinking about some things here. So
bad for you.
I know Chad is just he is eternally patient guy that's going to kill me when I'm not looking.
Well, can I ask you where you're going to eat when you're in Vegas?
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, hadn't thought about it.
You guys never thought of that?
Well, I kind of hope we would go back to that sushi samba place. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that was we can do sushi. Do that all day. That's freaking ridiculously good.
That's ridiculously good.
A little bit lying to ourselves, saying we're going to try to get in the show at the Sphere and see if we can get into the movie there. But it's going to be filled with every nerd on the planet in Vegas, and I have a feeling Sphere tickets will be hard to get. And I'm not that good of a planner, else I'd have done it already. So we'll see what happens there.
Is there a Sphere chef?
What?
Is there a Sphere? I can't even say the word.
Probably a couple of them.
Yeah, well, the show at the Sphere is a thing called Postcard Planet Earth. It's the thing that's their stock deal, and it's a fantastic experience. It's basically about recolonizing planet Earth and other planets, and the experience they have remembering the planet they left behind.
Well, that sounds fun.
It is absolutely amazing. It is amazing.
Is that the one that I've seen online right now? Like the pictures are incredible.
Mm-hmm. With the elephant and the giraffe and all that. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. The place is so big it has weather stations in it. It honestly does. So here's the cool part. I tell everybody about this in case they haven't gone. And what's cool about it is there's a sound system in the Sphere that operates inside for the audience, but they have a tech demo of it when you come in the lobby, and there's 3 or 4 bars of light on the floor. I've told you about this before, Chad.
Yeah.
And when you walk in to the bar of light, well, you hear like an orchestra. Everybody hears the same orchestral music coming out from all directions, right? But you'll be on the bar next to me. There's nothing spatially separating us. I'm in a bar of light, and Chad's in the other bar of light. He hears saxophones clearly in his. You hear banjo clearly in yours, and I hear harmonica riffing like a motherfucker. Nobody hears what anybody else is hearing.
What?
Yeah. Then they switch it, and they go, okay, now it's languages. So when I'm standing here, I'm hearing German. 2 inches away, I'm hearing Mandarin. There, I'm hearing Spanish, and here I'm in French. Literally just walk. Blip, 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 blip. Oh, yeah. And so my weird brain's like, fuck, let's use this for haunted houses, right? You're going to fucking die, right? People standing here, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking with this thing, right? But that's the sound they use to power it. right? The inside there, these experiences of projected sound that people hear different things in different places. It's not all universally the same.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Directional sound.
And then there's the AIs that greet you when you come in. There's robots there, and you have to sign a document saying this thing will recognize me and memorize me. And so when I come back, it will know me from my previous visit.
Serious?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Looks like you're not feeling so good today. You're running a temperature. It can tell if you're hot or cold. It's got sentiment analysis in it. Speaks every language. Is a GPT model, fully learning, and like I had a kid sitting next to me. Hey, love that green hat. Is that and said what sports team was on it? Are you a fan? Like just engaging, right?
No way.
And from a commercial standpoint, greeters, welcome. You know, I know, and like think hotels would gobble this up. This is like stock and trade, knowing how warm you want the room, and concierge service, and remembering my orders and my preferences as a traveler.
Yep.
You know,
you just put words to something that is, I guess, the most exciting. I didn't think about it this way for this show, and that is combinations of cool tech, right? So companies that go, well, all right, I used AI in this robot, and you can interface it with the VR, and you just like combine things in insane ways that just put it in a different category. That's what's exciting to me.
Yeah, and that
Do you think like AIs talking to AIs? Does that mean chat? Like they'll be talking to each other and start working with each other?
Well, that's also going to be a thing. It is a thing,
It's
surely.
huge.
I don't know where that's happening in our industry yet, but that's like the AI. I thought about it with like talking to a robotics company, where it's like, okay, so drones are going to keep taking off for food delivery.
Yep.
Well, the robots and the AI guarding those drones will talk to the AI robots receiving the package.
Or the AI air traffic controller is now managing air traffic for millions of air devices, not just a couple of planes out there, right?
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it'll mesh.
That's really cool. I never thought of that, but you're right, Chad. I never thought of them, like even from programs that are within them start talking to each other. They can still be separate companies, but they can, in a sense, have conversations.
Yeah, it's like an API, right? It'd be another kind of call where it knows what gears to engage, so to speak, and it talks.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we're in a brave new world. Like, just there's
cool?
so many cool things. Like you talked about health and wellness. I mean, the applications that are there for, like, think about people that are bedridden, right?
Oh yeah, like you get into healthcare.
Yeah,
a whole different ball game.
VR, you can take somebody to a place they were as a child, and they'll get to see it one more time before they die, right? They get to experience the rush of flying in a wingsuit and other things that viscerally we can really connect with that experience now, you know?
I did VR food shows about 6-7 years ago.
How'd that work out?
It was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I only ask that because when I hear virtual and food show, and I'm thinking COVID and everybody looking at their happy hour, and go, why the hell am I here?
It's funny because it was just before COVID. It was, I think, 2018.
Good time.
And we had the big
yeah,
goggles and everything, and we were doing it. My vision was, who has time to leave their restaurant to go to shows? Why don't we just give them goggles and they can go enjoy the show when they want, how they want, where they want, and pick what show they want to go to. So they can go to a Vegas show, or they can go to a Chicago show, or whatever. Just pick the ones that they want. So I had that vision, but the technology wasn't there yet. Like it was, but it was kind of goofy looking.
Yep.
Yeah. It still had aerials.
That with a 360 cam now in a certain sense, right? The 360 cam can get you close.
Well, we had one, but it was still like the very beginning stages. So it just wasn't that. It was more clunky, let's put it that way. And we presented it to our company and everything in Houston, and there was a lot of, this is cool, but we're just not there yet.
Right.
I'm hoping today, when you're looking at like what Facebook with the Ray-Bans and everything else that's coming out, and everyone else just using regular, clothing or glasses and stuff, that you can do that. And I think that's going to be fueled by AI, because, but I also think the human touch with AI is also going to be a part of it.
Well, that I think that's really, like, how many times have either of you guys looked at an AI go, that looks kind of greasy, or whatever that off feeling
Yeah.
is. It looks too
Sure.
slick, too oily. I call it oily. Like, I don't know, for some reason back at the Fifth Element, they use the term slightly greasy solar atoms to bring Lilu back to life. And I thought, who made up that term? But anyways, it seems slightly greasy. It's just like there's some sheen to it that clearly it's not real, right? And it even though there might be like I've seen some art, I won't say any names, but that look really cool, but it's off-putting.
Right. Do you think there'll be a crossover where that becomes the norm, and then the opposite becomes the odd?
I think we reject. I think, well, maybe, but I think also that might be a trend or almost like a fashion thing that we're going to go towards this thing. But I think
Because when we
ultimately
saw color TV for the first time, we were probably all freaked out.
yeah, but we were excited about color because it was getting us closer to real, and this is taking us further away in some sense, right?
This is silly. We're gonna blink and AI is gonna be exactly
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It will be.
Right.
It's like, I don't know if you guys have been playing with Gemini lately, the 2.0. It's pretty.
No.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Now, are
real.
you making any videos with that stuff, or what are you using it for?
I've done some video. No, I've done Sora with video.
Mhm.
That it's just not. It still has the oily.
It sure looks cool though. Like
But
that Sora stuff.
It's like I said, you have to have the plugins of the prompts, but getting there is you're on the right road. Like you just look at it right now. I think it's the awe. It's back to dancing. We're stepping on toes. It's on the road to where we're
Right.
going, and it's only going to be fast. Like as soon as that thing kicks in and starts learning how to be better at what it's doing, I think personally something is slowing it down for us to absorb it in a sense before
What do you mean
use it.
slowing us down to absorb it?
I think when you see things like this that are so disruptive or different in our world, sometimes if we can, it's no different than, did you guys ever like look at cars from the 90s, let's say, and they're futuristic cars and they're so far out there, but they slowly get to that down the road where we will have those as our regular vehicles and they'll look like, 10 years or 20 years ago, we saw them. We were like, man, those things are crazy looking and everything else.
Kind of what they blamed DeLorean's commercial failure on is that it was too far ahead what DeLorean was doing. Right? It looks like a Cybertruck if you look at the
it looks like Cybertruck now, right?
Yeah.
But you know, like you look at those things, like I think when you look at where we're at, the adoption of us taking AI on right now, because I'm sure they can turn a switch and slowly get us probably a lot faster to where maybe we want to go if we know where we're going with it. But I think we have to I think the way that it's released, it slowly gets us to where we want to go without us freaking out. Because I think when you go from 0 to 60 overnight, a lot of people will resist more than slowly drinking the Kool-Aid to get to what they want to adjust to, or to get to part of our culture. Because when you do cultural shifts like that, because that's a cultural life-changing program, like the way that it is, it changes lives. It changes the world, right? It's like we had to slowly get to the iPhone, right? But
that wasn't that slow.
It wasn't that slow, right? But we got there. But it was the overtime, like we got from the brick, right? We had the brick to the flip phone to the like we had to get through the. Did you guys want to see something really cool?
Oh no!
Oh no!
What's this?
A BlackBerry. Where did you even get that?
How awesome is that?
That is awesome.
Isn't that awesome? Look at that sucker. He's speechless.
Well, this would be the perfect show to bring that out. You're making a connection. It's like, hold on, let me write down your email and pull that out.
Let me get my chisel. Moses on the mountain.
You know what's interesting is it actually has, I think it has a battery.
Oh.
Yeah, like
does it charge? Do the cables still exist to charge it? What would happen if you put it on a passive charger? Would it blow the thing up?
Well, let's try.
Question: do you guys hear audio when I hit play here?
Yeah. Oh wait.
You hear that?
No.
Do you hear that?
I don't hear whatever that is.
All right. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna see if I can tee this up if it works. Window here.
here.
This is a quick flashback while Jay's doing this. This actually just ran into this as I was sitting there talking. This is Michael Beck, Sursa. God,
What year was this? What year was
A
this?
while ago.
Shit. I mean, this is 2014. This is 11 years ago. Right.
So this is the second segment I was going to talk about. We have the Back to the Future DeLorean car here. I think this isn't even a replica. This is probably the actual movie vehicle. This is looking pretty legit. So enough of my stupid face. Look at this. Yes. Nice. Yeah, so anyways, Back to the Future. And the future is now, so we're going to go see that next. So welcome to CES, everybody.
I do a mean Doc Brown imitation. I'm with the Time DeLorean from Back to the Future here.
Are
It
you
is
kidding
awesome.
me?
No, it's the real deal. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
But literally, I'm screaming at him like Emmett Brown. Just 1.21 gigawatts. Yeah, it was a really neat show to be at. I am so jealous that you get to do this for the first time, Chad. This is, really awesome. But I'm not jealous because I get to share that experience with you.
You're there. I mean, every show is its own
And
beast.
yeah, this is going to be its own beast.
And Michael, to be clear, I don't think we've actually stated it. There is a food tech section of this show. So for our community in particular, now granted, this is stuff mostly geared towards consumers, but like anything, good consumer applications become business applications. Plus, there are some B2B companies there. So take a look.
Is there anybody we know there that's doing a good job, Chad? Anybody want to call out?
Well, it's funny. It's one of the B2B companies. Right? That's why we know them, right? So Yarrow at PickPad's going to be there, right? And so
that kid's a genius.
And
I mean, literally, that kid is a genius. Sorry, I'm old, so anybody younger than 30 is the kid to me. That kid, that young whippersnapper.
Yeah, it's like the definition of innovation in our industry.
What is it? I mean, you open the door. What does he do?
What they are. It's like a modular system of smart pads that are powered by sensors and AI. And what they do is they help make sure that like imagine like a Starbucks, like with like serving out tons of drinks that you just put as a staff, you just put them on the pad and it will know when the order is complete. It'll track everything, like when is it getting picked up? When did all this stuff happen? So it's just really making that handoff to the guest super, super efficient and personalized. And it's, it triggers this word that I really love, which is phygital, right? Like merging the digital with the physical environment. And like, they're the definition of this.
Phygital?
Phygital. You've heard of it.
I'm thinking about spinning stuff and fidgeting. I'm an ADHD guy. I think fidget.
Yeah, that too.
Digital. What's the other concatenation of it? Well, I mean, I have some experience with this mixing of names because when we made up Ink Tank,
physical, digital, digital.
So digital.
There you go. Digital.
Maybe. I know. I'm trying to get a bit of a fidget, but because when we were going to name Ink Tank, I was going, well, we're a think tank, and I'd like to be an incubator, and my first name for Ink Tank was Thinkubator. Thinkubating anything, or think about us thinkubating at home. So, right, and so I took the think part instead of the think. Yeah, Ink Tank. So yeah. I saved myself from a wreck. I almost declared that. I was as proud as Jay on a 24-star podcast lineup of Galaxy of Stars announcing to the world my new initiative, and I just pulled it back from the brink. Anyways, my lighting is killing me. I look like
you were very lit up.
I'm very.
I've got the problem. It's not working.
It's my backlight that did it the whole time. I'm looking there like some kind of. I was luminescent. So yeah, so that's a good question. So Chad, you want? Yeah, where are we going in January? Where are we going to be seeing in Janvier for those in Quebecois?
Yeah, and so I'm used to going to 0, maybe 1, show in January, but we're going to at least 2. So the week after, it's the National Retail Federation. What the heck is that stand for?
I don't know because I've been
NRF.
on the show for weeks. I can never remember it. Yeah, National Retail
NRF,
Federation.
the big
yeah.
retail show, as they
Yes.
call it, and
Yes.
and then that'll be awesome.
Yeah, and Jay's just like the ghost of Christmas past. He's got a disembodied voice. He's got a black screen. Yeah. So we're going to be going to
I'm looking this up.
CES. Then we'll do a little stop in New York at the National Retail Federation show.
That is what it's.
Yeah, and so we have some clients that are going to be there. We'll be taken care of. We also have clients that have objectives for us to seek out some different companies we're going to broker partnerships with, which is part of what we do. Or sorry, what Chad does. I'm a glue guy. I help.
You do it too.
Yeah, I do. Anyways, but also we have some new alliances that we're cementing at that show by merit of some cross functional content creation, I guess we could say. Right? We can't let the cat out of the bag. It's gonna be a little bit of a reveal, but very exciting. And so we'll be getting great content from that show as well. And I think the thing I like about this is most of the restaurant world is not doing this show. Right? Most of the restaurant world isn't doing CES, and thereby most of the restaurant world is going to be kind of quiet in January. I'm not quiet, so we're not quiet, right? And so we can make a lot of noise in January where others might be turtling up or thinking about other things, and we want to kind of lead and provide more opportunities to share information.
Shine the light on some cool stuff going on in our industry at the beginning of the year. Yep.
Yep. So, what else? Oh, Jay, so we're working together now, right? Yeah. And we're I know this is so weird. It was perfect for the guy with no show or no pod. He's actually not on, and so I think this all works. Yeah, so do you want to log out and back in, or do you want us to talk to You know what? No, this is perfect. I know what to do. You're fucking Canadian. This is the best thing ever. I'm just going to take a picture of you and then South Park your head. Yeah, buddy. I'm your friend guy. And I'll just split your head up and I'll animate you talking with a disconnected head. It'll be perfect. I'll make fun of my mustache, buddy. Yeah, it'll be perfect.
We have to do that now.
Yes. And we have to play Blame Canada. Yeah.
I think coming, Joe.
Yes. Yep. There you come, Joe. You're going to separate Jay's head into one single thing and put a hinge on the back of his neck, essentially, and talk like this the whole time. Yes. Anyway. Yeah. How are you going to promo without you on screen? Come back here in a minute. All right. There you go. And to quote Chuck Woolery, we'll be back in 2 and 2.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So piece of trivia. I Forrest Gumped my way back in the day onto the dating game.
Oh,
yeah, I was literally bachelor number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so there's a whole other story there. Hey Jay, welcome back. How you been?
I'm okay.
You're okay. That's right. All right. So well, before our commercial break,
I've had 2 rock stars.
We may or may not have one. What?
I've had 2 rock stars today.
All right.
No.
That'll mess with you.
It's gonna mess me up later. Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, I don't know if we should do a show, dude. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say this for
No,
everybody.
what are you talking about?
We're gonna have an hour of getting nowhere twice a week. It's gonna be awesome.
So we're starting this Tuesday.
I mean, Seinfeld had a whole series on nothing. We could do this.
We could do that.
Right.
But I got the lecture from you. Was it this week? You gave me the lecture that I have to give you a show rundown, which I'm going to try so hard.
Chad's gonna crack up. He's like, "Fuck that guy. He doesn't read it."
He doesn't. You fucking better. I'll put the keys in there.
I almost don't bother with them anymore. I was like, why did I even do this?
I was talking to Dominic today, which is also a part of our show. I said, Dom, you're gonna be happy. I said, Beck made me freaking do rundowns now, and he's like, finally. It's because I don't do them. So
see,
he gets mad. But
hold on.
So we're going
it's the road to monetization. We're gonna make show make money.
So make sure you bring your mics and stuff like this so we can stream you in on Tuesday.
It's got to run its course. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we can stream you in on Tuesday, and then Thursday. Are you gonna be back on Thursday?
No, Friday.
No.
Late
So you
night.
have
No,
to-
I'll be. Well, you want me to record from the show? You said.
Yeah, but Thursday, are you guys gonna still be at the show?
We can do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so then so we're gonna stream in Rebecca from the National Restaurant Association from Hawaii.
Okay.
So that's gonna
At the
be
same time, are we gonna be like
a forced.
you know, and now from Hawaii?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's looking for us. She's looking for a spot in Hawaii for us to stream from. So we'll be
Can we
in.
go there to stream with her, or is it just she's gonna be a cool spot and we're gonna?
Yeah.
She knows it's cold where you're at, right? This is kind of a dick move. Like, I'm gonna be from
I
Hawaii.
was thinking about that this morning, going,
Yeah.
you're right. This is a dick move because it
Yeah.
is minus 39 today.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like
I
I
imagine you have like one of those northern exposure flappy hats.
fucking
and
do. It's upstairs. I think.
yeah, I bet you have an ice scraper that's a total badass that you would kill if it ever disappeared from your vehicle.
We had two of
Two.
them.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have an electric heater on your engine when it's when you plug in at night?
Yeah,
Or do
they're
you have
called
a
block
garage?
heaters.
A block heater, yes. I'm
Do you know
sorry, as a
why
child,
they
then I
have
just
block
know it
heaters?
once.
Do you know why?
Because they freeze solid.
Your oil actually turns into a syrup, and it will actually crack your engine block.
And then Canadians will come take it because they're addicted to syrup.
So I always tell this story all the time for folks that live in warm weathers. We have frozen square tires up here. So when you park your car overnight, Chad, when your car is parked in your driveway all night and you go in the next day to warm it up, it'll be warm inside, but you'll get into your car, you'll bounce down the road until the tires
Okay.
warm up.
Okay.
And so you're driving
Okay.
like this down the road, bouncing until the tires warm up. So we have square tires, square cold frozen tires.
Square tires.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how cold
Right.
it was that cold last night, and then it gets warmer next week. But yeah, from Hawaii it's gonna be a little tough.
Okay, so but she's gonna broadcast it, and is it the same time that we're doing this, or what's your?
Well,
what's your
whatever works
plan?
with you. We can run the show. We don't tell everyone that we're not live at the live time, but
Right.
we're 9:30 Eastern time, 7:30 Mountain time.
In question, do you want to do like a little bit of fake banner to where I go, okay, and so I can talk to you and you can respond to it or something, right?
Yeah,
or
that's
hey guys,
good.
what's happening out there? Yep, we're out here in the field. We're live here at CES. This is a big shit show. Blah blah blah. And then yeah.
Yes.
That was my hurricane report, by the way. That wasn't my
that was your
CES
hurricane
report. Yeah. Oh my God, it's coming in. I got hit in the face with a fish. You know,
Yeah.
poor Chad.
Yes.
We haven't talked
Yes.
tech at all.
Yes, on
Yeah.
all that.
right.
But yeah, so one, we're launching the late night restaurant show on Tuesday, and then Thursday, and then the guests are going to be coming tenfold because I got a big list here. I'm also going to be reaching out to Bill again that we had on the show. About coming on as a regular guest.
Bill
once a month.
Oakley, yes,
Yeah.
that's a great guest.
So he was so good and stuff like this, and he was posting some things the other day. So I got to reach back out to him, and yeah, all the fun stuff that we have on our show that we have coming up.
All right. Well, I think if we
I don't think we
left this
talked
whole
much
thing
about tech.
together.
I'm jealous, first of all, you guys.
We talked
going
about
down.
some stuff.
Yeah.
We got to see a
covered it.
BlackBerry.
We talked about AI. We talked about future tech. We talked a little bit about a VR. We
We did
talked
all right.
about some consumer applications of it. We didn't talk about like food costing and measurements, but that's more software. And by the way, I think you actually, I caught on something in your language earlier. You said electronics, and you all immediately talked about actually software. These things that do software functions, and those are not considered electronics.
Right.
Software is
Oh.
software, electronics, electronics. Electronics are hardware.
See?
Electronics are the devices by
There's a
which
lot of
these
both.
cool things run on.
That
Is
is
there a
so.
lot of both? Like there's
Yeah,
both.
yeah,
A lot of both.
yeah.
So do you think it's
But
possible
one of the main.
next year I could go?
Well, yeah, let's just plan it and do it. I think you're in charge of you, and we're in charge of us, right? And I think if we're in charge of saying we want to do this together, I think we're pretty
but
good,
I'm gonna
right?
work to
Unless
get
they don't
this
let
done.
you in. I've watched American border guards and Canadian border guards, and you never know what's going
No,
to go
you
down.
guys are way
you know,
different than we are.
you're smuggling
we're
poutine, bro.
we're pretty.
You're not
easy.
watching the same show as me. I see people get kicked out of the country all the
You
time.
watch that same show?
I love that show.
Way down there, you guys get that show?
It's It's a guilty pleasure. Yeah. I mean, I've
Wild,
never
man.
seen. Yeah, I've never seen so many people pack like
Do you guys ever get the like
refrigerated
ice road
chicken.
truckers?
Yeah, but that's too Canadian. We're not doing
Seriously,
that.
you guys
So,
get that too?
yeah, of course. We give. We got the fishing shows. We got all the stuff.
Serious?
It's city dwellers watching real people do old fashioned jobs. They're like, wow, somebody still does that. Wow.
I didn't know you guys got that.
Yeah, Instagrammers love it. Or sorry, my OnlyFans kind of folks. Right? Oh, yeah, people worked back in the day.
So before both of you go,
Way to wrap it up. I love it.
Well, I want to ask this question because I have.
Yeah, we need drown out music.
Need like that.
Here it is.
No, you need like that slow 1980s. You need more 80s music. TV
Yeah,
show.
I grabbed that in a rush. I'm actually going to program a whole bunch of soundboard stuff for really just annoying the piss out of Chad and maybe adding some fun to this. We'll see.
First of all, do you think Miami Vice will come back with the original cast? I saw that.
I don't know, but Don Johnson is in
Did you see that?
in the new season of Stranger Things.
I know, but they asked him that this week if he'd come back.
Which one was he, Crockett or Tubbs? Looking back, I can't remember.
He was Crockett, dude.
There was a remake of the show, right? I'm not imagining.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
It was
like, but it wasn't with them, right? It was yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think there will be?
So you're gonna say you're wrapping this up.
Sorry.
You're taking us home.
I was going to ask you because
this is two ADHD people, Chad. This is what this shit looks
this is
like.
what
This
happens,
is real.
Chad.
This
Sorry,
is real.
man. And on fucking two.
Now we don't know. Is it ADHD or hypomania? One of the two.
I think hypomania is a subset of ADHD.
Okay.
Is it?
I would imagine the same biomorbidity exists in both the brains.
We
We're
read the
dopamine
signs.
starved.
It matched up.
Yeah, the
So,
ballistics check out.
One
Go
of
ahead.
the things that I'm going to ask Mr. Beck is, did you do your social media this week as much as we talked about?
Remind me what my homework was.
It was about increasing it. I told you this on Monday.
Yeah. So what did I do this week? And we can even use this as a pro tip for everybody out there. I'm trying to build communities. And so what I did, and I probably didn't do what we said we were going to do, but I dumped my entire LinkedIn of 16,000 something contacts, fed them back into a tool, Tripify. If you need a code, we got one. You can, do it through us. And it's now sent out hey guys, we started a new company, essentially better messages than that. We'd love for you to invite you to follow us.
Email it?
No, it just sends it to LinkedIn in a LinkedIn message to all my current contacts of 17,000 something people, right? And so it's given a personal invite to each one of those to stack our ranks, right? And so that's one of my social things I did today.
Why didn't you share that with me?
Because I'm a dick.
All right. Okay, Dick.
Much like holding back AI, I held back some shit on
I
you,
did
bro.
not
We
hold
can't
back.
let you off the chain yet. Yeah, no.
Anyways, I was just asking because I did
Oop.
this week work on mine
Okay.
because I planned out I finally have my planner all set up for what I'm going to be doing. And I was just
Oh, your
thinking it was
content
fun.
calendar.
My content calendar, but also my content map of what I'm going to do based on also the aspects of what's happening within the industry. Right. So we're getting into the time. What do we talk about now? What influences and what stuff do we write about?
Yep.
And what do we create as content right now? So it hits the rhythm of what's going on. And anyways, I was just working on that today. So
you frame it all out and you make stops along the way saying, I need to do this content on Mondays and this and that. And then you're probably theming it according to what's happening in the mainstream news or things that are top of mind for folks. You probably aren't planning the actual content so much as the drop. Is that right?
Possibly a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of both. And I think you start looking at other verticals. Like we launched our news channel as well.
Yeah.
Just these other ways of getting your brand out there. And then I saw someone else posted something about their brand on it was Arby's. I think it was Arby's or another company.
We got the meats.
That are launching their brands into like dog outfits for their dogs. You know, like they're just looking at different verticals, different ways to brand.
They're doing what for dogs?
Well, they have their whole clothing line. Like,
oh, I thought they're like making food for dogs. I'm like, no, I'm not. I won't say that that's a logical leap. That's mean to my friends at Arby's, but just saying, if they have waste they're trying to get rid of at global scale, that makes sense.
Anyways, I'm doing the same thing to bring it back. Same thing within the social channels or the aspects of creating content that's out there. I'm looking at different ways to build something that's unique. that creates that disturbance within that. So not following everyone else, but also
Yeah.
saying, well, I'm going to go this way. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's why like we created the news channel up here.
So how's that work, right? Like, so you create a news channel. What does that include? Where is it? Where do you see it? Where do you find it? Like, give us just a
So
if you can,
CRN.
a 1 minute and 30-second commercial about what this does, where they'll find it, and why they
Cool.
should
I
care.
think that's that's
Go.
really good. So it's called CRN.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
CRN. It looks like CNN. So Chad, did you get the
Okay.
correlation of the
Yep.
branding?
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. The
So
ChatGPT News Network.
no, it's not ChatGPT. That would
Oh,
be really cool too. I actually do have
Canada restaurant news.
I do have a
Cambonian?
GPT store for Canada's Restaurant Coach.
All right, let's go. Go. I'm taking your time.
Anyways, so CRN is the Canadian Restaurant Industry News, or CRN news channel. What it has is it has over 100 different feeds going into it every 5 minutes, I think it is, of
Okay.
news updates on every part of the Canadian industry plus global industry. And then we're
Okay.
feeding we're feeding like main top social channels into
Okay.
it as well. So there's a social media and there's also a news channel. So it's
Who's
kind of
your audience?
everyone in the industry, restaurant industry. So if you're looking at, so what happens is a lot of people, and I'm notorious for this, I get so many emails on newsletters and everything else. We're feeding all the news into one spot. Newsletters are coming now. We had a program where all the subscribing newsletters are now going to be filtered into our news channel as well. So you don't need to subscribe. You can just go there, read news, what's going on in the newsletter world, social world, and then also what's happening currently in the industry on news.
And what about, live action news with
Well,
your anchor team?
yeah, we're going
Jay
to do that as
Ashton?
well. We want to do that as well. So we'll
Yeah.
create a live feed through it. And that will also just help with the SEO and stuff like this. And then we'll run that on YouTube. So then YouTube's connected to Google. So it helps push us up on that chart. And then we'll just
Boom.
throw some AI. I think I can link in my GPT store into it. So
What is a GPT store? So help us understand that, because that's a whole new term.
So interesting. I don't know if I told you this too, Chad. This is really cool. So I've taken all the shows that I've done, the 1,600 shows I've done over the last 5 years of podcast, pulled the transcripts and uploaded
How many
them.
hours is that?
Hey,
A lot.
Go.
So
okay. I'm with you. I'm liking it.
I've downloaded all the transcripts of these super smart people, not me. Those people, because we've had industry experts over the last 5 years from all over the world come on the show. From everything from mental illness to programs to celebrities, you name it. And I've pulled that transcripts and uploaded into AI, into ChatGPT, to actually learn from them. Right. So it's not just learning from the internet, it's actually learning from the person. So we've learned that, and then we have it where it's Canada's Restaurant Coach, where you can go in there now and ask it any question within the industry, and it's going to give you a more precision or precise notion or response based on your prompt to what you're
Got
looking
it. So
for within the industry.
That's amazing.
So you're training, and it's OpenAI's ChatGPT
Canada's Restaurant
AI
Guide.
that you're
Yeah,
using?
just got to go into the
Yeah.
stores. Just go into the GPT
Yep.
stores and look up Canada's Restaurant Coach.
Mhm.
And then you'll be able to save it as your GPT store reference. Now, the cool part is that
The word, I guess that's messing me up, is GPT store. I
Yeah.
haven't. It's the first time I've heard that
so
term.
ChatGPT has stores.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have GPT stores. So you can go start your own store today. And down the road, and I believe there's ways you can monetize this so people can subscribe to your store and becomes a paying program for you. Okay. So I have a GPT stores. I have a few of them. Even some of the restaurants I coach, I actually share a store with them. So here's where it gets really cool. So as restaurants coach, sorry, I'm boring you guys. So when
No, you're not. This is the shit we're supposed to talk about.
This is
Actually, we're on
amazing.
topic.
Okay.
We're on topic. You took us into great waters. We're reorienting the ship.
Okay, here we go.
Put the sail back up. We're going. Let's go.
All right. I love this stuff. So when you look at it right now, when I go to coach with a restaurant, so I have 18
Yeah.
restaurants I coach right now. When I go and work with one that's a little bit of an elevated, a little more, let's say, in depth of the content that we need to work on or just strategies and plans,
Mm-hmm.
why are we not using AI as that sounding board or that assistant based on the decisions that we make with that restaurant?
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm only going to tell them based on my experience or my knowledge base. Why don't I have this guy that's beside me? So I use Al all the time, my voice activated AI system that I talk to
Okay.
Al all the time. But what I've done is that I will actually build a store based on that restaurant that has a private setting. So
Yep.
they have access and I have access, and we actually teach GPT or that
Mhm.
store about that restaurant nonstop all the time.
And
Okay.
what things are you feeding the model, right? You're
You
putting
could
in
do like
menus, you're probably putting
menu,
in
products,
cultural things that have to do with the kind of things they sell. I mean, that would have to
everything,
probably hook,
everything,
right?
everything. Here's
This
the
is awesome.
weather. Here's the menu updates. Here's the
Yeah.
inventory. We don't want to put too much financial aspects because it's open
Right.
still. Now, this is a private setting, but I'd take it for what it is.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't, but we do different things. So if we are planning out a 6-month strategy plan with them, we will put that
Mhm.
in there. Now, as it learns more about that one location and the
Yeah.
let's say the business practices that restaurant does, it starts
Mhm.
learning more about that specific. So when you put it just into chat, it's
Right.
out there and you're getting influenced by everything on chat. When you
Yeah.
zone it into just one room, let's say, let's call it a room instead of a store, one room, it's only going to start learning about that. So it's not getting
Right.
confused or other shit thrown at it
Right.
and stuff. It's only
Are
learning.
you like Are you layering in another like subsets of that? So we have the store, right?
Yeah.
If to use the analogy, right? And so we have the retail section, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But then we probably have the marketing guy in that store, and are you training it to know this? So I have this business, I have a model that knows everything about my business, customers, whatever I want to feed that thing, and now I tell it, you're my marketing,
You could, yes. Yes.
you're my ops, you're my
Yeah.
strategy, and this is the things you think about as subsets of that
Well,
store.
you could even tie it into your social too, right?
Yeah.
So you could pull in your social channels, upload it, start learning about your social channels, start to learn about your social.
Is there an API? It'll actually pull in all your social information, kind of
I
start
believe
washing
there's an
that and learning
API
it?
plug. Yeah, I believe there's an API plug. So
So I've been playing with this GPT, found it in the store while we were talking, and I asked it, what should I do uniquely as a restaurant operator because I'm in Canada? And it said, you can tell me what the
Dress
data
formally.
source for this was. Feature Canadian classics with a twist. Poutine with elevated toppings. Butter tarts or Nanaimo bars in desserts.
That sounds like a Bill that's like a Bill Oakley
I
right
was
there,
gonna
but what
say,
the hell is it? Butterbeer? Isn't that from Harry Potter?
And then regional specialties like Saskatoon berry dishes or maritime seafood chowders.
Saskatoon! You
There
cannot
we
say
go.
Saskatoon and not have a good day.
not awesome.
Now,
So
can you
that
tell where that came from, or is like, no, it's just a synthesis of too much stuff to
it's
get
too
there?
much stuff, right? So
Yeah.
now if I was working with a restaurant on that, we were precisely working within what it is. We're just focusing on that one location, right? It's only
Mm.
going to, so you're not going to get that variety spread. You're going to get
Yeah,
more precision. So it does help when you coach them that we're
Mm.
sharing the same, because you share it, right? Like they get the same login and they log in and you both have the same room and you're just
right.
feeding that all the time. So it becomes a really good a coach, let's say for restaurants when you coach them is using your AI
Mhm.
assistant and it's private. So no one else sees those conversations or everything else.
Do you moderate the data?
I think you can.
Like, because if you well, you can't because you can erase chats you've had with it, right? But if
Yeah.
you're working with a client that's feeding bad stuff into it, and how often do you look to see because it's always good as the
Yeah.
model or the data it's
True.
giving the model, right? And much like a chat room, this to me feels like you need a moderator over the data that makes it through, right? You don't want some conversation
Yeah.
that's going to hurt the brand, and
Well,
likewise,
yeah,
data
you're
that's going to
right.
hurt,
And that,
right?
it's funny you say that you're bang on because on an open source, you're probably going to get a lot of just, incorrect data that's coming in there that's going to make those decisions maybe
Yeah.
not more as accurate as one that's closed door or a private session. So that's a really good point. I've thought of that,
I
but you're
wonder if
right.
it's self audit, like tune your information, kick out the anomalous, and then we'll do a refresh or something like
Well,
so.
I
I
I
don't
you're
know.
I think when you look at it is just making sure that you have the right prompts in those discussions, but I think the more that you can I think the biggest thing to talk about anything within AI is if
Yeah.
you're not a restaurant right now not using AI, I think you need to because
Oh
I
yeah.
believe AI is going to be connected if it isn't already, it is, but it's going to be similar to how you have to be on YouTube to increase your presence on Google.
Yeah.
Right. So when I go and so as people start to shift over from Google to AI to make decisions or to look for the best.
Yep.
So I was going out with one of the guys I work with today or a couple months ago, sorry. We were going into Banff and we both are on this Ozempic shit and we both can't eat certain foods. So on the
Right.
way in, we said to AI, to Al, we said, Al, this is what we're looking for. Here's our diets, blah, blah, blah. And it started spitting out the locations like Google would, but also giving us what we should be eating in those restaurants.
Based on your dietary
Yeah,
requirements.
right. Like, so it was sort of specific. Now, I would say in the future, near future, that you need to be present on ChatGPT because it will then start similar to Google. It will start defining who those people are in that list based on your
Mhm.
presence on chat because it starts to learn who you are, right? So I think the more that you need to be on there, and that's also going to help with your social platforms, everything else. It's all going to
Wow.
connect. So I think you need to be present.
That creates a whole new wrinkle for restaurants to be listed because it's not listing on preference of the restaurant to be
Right.
seen. It's being listed on the needs of the user.
Exactly.
If that's the search
Well, that's so
mechanism.
different than Gary Vee was talking again on his podcast 2 days ago
Yeah.
about the importance of making sure that you're on Alexa. Making sure you're on Alexa nonstop. So as we use and that system gets more precise, I just plugged in my new one and it's not like the old one, but you don't have to correct it usually. But so it's more
Oh, really?
precision. So you're thinking of, and they're probably gonna have AI in that as well. If
Oh, yeah.
in a like a better integrated AI system. So I think you're gonna have to be present on these new verticals, let's say, of creating your presence if people are looking
Yeah.
forward to dine
Gotta go to the
out.
watering holes.
Yeah, like you have to go to and I think Chat's GPT is going to definitely be um I think it's definitely going to be one that we when you start looking at it going into the video space, it's going to start challenging, I would say YouTube. It's going to start challenging these other spaces right away as it starts to integrate these different video bases. I think the part that I'm going to predict, this is me predicting a little, is it will sooner or later become a if it isn't already on the plan, it'll start getting into more of the social channel scroll world, right? Where it'll start playing in there. Meaning today, when you look at TikTok,
Yeah.
TikTok algorithms. So when you start like today, it'll be on our TikTok channel tonight because what we're talking about, the phone's listening, ticks, learning, whatever, everything else. And when we swipe, we get the content that we want for a you page, right?
Yeah.
I think you're going to see chat play in that space more, where maybe because we're waiting on a new social channel. There hasn't been a new social channel in a long time, right?
Yeah.
There hasn't been one in like when you think about the social channels when they're coming out, it was
Yeah.
like boom, 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 quiet, and then
Yeah.
TikTok came in, and then it was like, oh look out, we haven't seen that much lately new um, that has that. I think you'll see this from ChatGPT as a new social channel. They'll be more precise
Yeah.
in what we see in the content that it's going to produce for us. And I think it's going to be also then fed through AI based on our decisions, if that makes sense. So
Well,
when you
yeah, it's
think about
collecting data all the time.
well, you
Yeah,
think about today,
absolutely.
we're creating content based on how we create it, right? Like if you're very creative, you create more. If you're not creative, you don't create enough. Like like
Right.
it's an unbalanced, and it's based on our abilities to create content. When you move that into more of an AI system where it's creating content based on what I should always create, so it's automation almost. I think you're going to see that come into the feed. So it comes back to almost like a new social channel that is created not only for us but by us through AI.
So, I mean, people have talked about the algorithms on social media, like curating content with the right algorithms and AI, right? But I think you're talking about AI creating the content that we consume on said platforms. And part of me says that's scary, and part of me goes, well, isn't that what we ultimately want anyway? Just that done really well, right?
But you're bang chat and bang on chat because I think that's so you look at the gaps. The gaps today on social is that it's not always good. So we swipe it
Right.
fast, right? So if it's not good content or it doesn't relate to us, what do? We swipe. So if we want to reduce
Mhm.
that swipe speed, and get people to like everything that they see on social, because today it's a 50-50, right? Like you like it or you don't like it. Swipe, keep, like, watch. Like it's not a consistent. So if you look at that now, what's that way of fixing that? Is to pull in AI where it's creating content that we like all the time, which is, to your point, it's kind of scary because we probably won't spend, like in Canada, we just ran stats yesterday. In Canada, we're spending 1 month now, a year swiping, and how much time we spend on social media.
Yeah. It is scary in the sense that I think about certain social platforms, certain times. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go there because it's not going to give me content that I want. It's going to
Yeah.
get content that I'll respond to, and there's a difference. Like I might be in a mode where I want what's good for me versus what I'm addicted to or will likely fall down the
Well,
rabbit hole on.
it's kind of
And
scary in a way, because what we find is a lot of the mistakes that we're seeing, or the things that we haven't seen because we don't like it, we actually are open up to a whole new world, right? Like, I didn't know trains were cool. I had no idea how cool they were, right? But now, with that being more tailored, I will never see a train because I don't care about them, right? Like, it's not a part of my world. So I think you'll see that become more tailored, which is scary in a one way, but it will probably increase your social time immensely. Because, like
mm,
you said, sometimes, how many people go on TikTok? I don't want to go on TikTok day, because I usually don't want to see. I'm tired of seeing the same crap, right?
yeah.
Is that going to shift? I think it will. I think the ability to do that is there, and maybe that's why TikTok is being questioned on being banned and all these things in all these countries. Is that, does it have the ability to do that? Because I know one of the guys I was working with, he was working with Zuckerberg with Facebook and stuff like this, and they were saying that Facebook is terrified of the power of TikTok because of how
Hmm.
advanced the algorithms are. So
Yeah.
I think there's some opportunity there, but that's where I'm thinking that we'll go with AI, is really this customized, because they always say that it's this whole customer experience, this whole customization. I don't even know if we understand what that's going to look like with the power this thing's got.
Hmm.
There's my long rant. Sorry about that.
Well, I think we did a whole show of an hour and 15 minutes of long rant.
And then some.
I love
Yeah.
that. I think the thing is to me with AI is that I've always had a challenge. And Beck, maybe you're like this as well, but I've always had a challenge to get the idea out, because starting the idea, and Bill said this on the show that we did with Bill Oakley, is getting the idea started has always been the hard part, right? Or what's in this head is always getting it out. And with AI, you can go in there, because it wasn't the fact that you knew what to say, it was the fact of how to say it, how to spell the word, or how to write that sentence,
Yeah, it's the prompt, right?
right?
It's the horse whisperer. You have to know what to say to it
Yeah.
to get what you want from
Now
it,
you
right?
can say it.
Kind of like a coach.
Exactly. Right? Like now you get this thing where you can support your ideas. So like that's why I write every morning, is I'm writing because I can flush those ideas out now. I can get those ideas out, and it's not like write and it spits out, AI spits out the article. You have to sit there and you're beating up AI constantly to write an article because it's not what's in your head.
Hmm.
But it spells it out right and writes the grammar right. Like it's pretty cool.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I think we got to call it on that
Sorry.
one, and maybe we'll come back on the next episode and talk a little bit more about this fun thing called AI. I'm sure it won't be the last anybody's heard of it.
What's next? Here's the last thing to make you think.
No. You can't have another
What's
last thing.
what's I can do one more? What's next?
No,
What's
there's no
next
last.
after
When
AI?
I used to drink, there used to be this thing called the lahach. Lahach is the last call after
Lahaj?
the last call. Lahach,
Lahaj.
right? Last call.
Lahaj.
All right, lahach, last one. Come on, get out of here. The rest of you, get out of here. So, all right, what's our lahach? Jay, lahach is here. Or else we'll play the button and we'll play the music. The road to the lahach. Don't
Lahaj?
make me do it.
Lahaj?
Okay, yes.
Lahaj?
What is our last? What's our last call? What do you got?
Well, I was just gonna say, what's next? What's next after AI?
Oh God, that's a whole nother show.
No, but think about it. Like, what is next?
Well, yeah, it's called the singularity, and their asses don't need us anymore. Elon Musk's robots adopt the AI brain, and we're done.
We never thought of this. Now, AI has been around since 1950.
Oh, trust me, they thought about it. They've written books about it. They debate it every
next?
day whether this should be or not. Is it the most outside? I know I'm going down a wrong rabbit hole here, but some people would consider this an existential threat to humanity.
I got an idea. They'll leave it to
Cut that part out and don't play it. Got it. All right, so let's keep going.
Even if AI didn't take over, right?
Yeah.
There's the Wall-E scenario. It makes us so dependent and lazy on technology. We kill ourselves just by virtue of
we turn into human
we've
amoeba.
done nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, like actually, Chad has a really good point. Like, think about this. Back in the day, we'd have paper maps in our car. We could drive without them. We didn't have GPS. Back in the day, we could do math in our heads.
Right.
Back in the day, I knew my mom's phone number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, we could use a calculator.
Yes. Yeah, what's this thing do? Right? Like, we're being dumbed down to the point of, and somebody once said it, and I love the language. We are tech dependent. We are not a tech savvy society. We are a tech dependent society, right?
Now
I know how to punch buttons on this, but it doesn't mean I'm tech savvy. I depend on this to do what I want to do. It's a pellet feeder. I'm not building things in it and developing it and making it into stuff.
So I have an idea with that, because here, what if tech? Here's where I think we're gonna go next. Here's my two. Sorry,
I'm gonna play the song "Never Ending
Story."
Story.
What if tech or AI, in a sense, removes all the negative in our lives?
Mm-hmm.
Negative. Now that means
it does not exist. Where there is a dark, there must be a light. Where there's a light, there must be a dark.
What if it does?
There is a counterpoint. No, it is the physics of reality.
Where life is.
That's why the children of rich people grow up to be crazy and miserable.
Honestly, they're doing mushroom and acid in grade school, and everything's cool and normal.
Because everything we build is to better ourselves and better our
but
life.
we're talking about what Chad just mentioned is we solve all these problems. Our next problems are obesity, morbidity.
Yeah, but what if it
turning into these well-maintained human blobs that might have great
it's a Wall-E movie.
Cholesterol numbers.
Wall-E all over.
But we're just jelly sacks floating around in a hover round that's driven by our mind.
It's Wall-E.
We got scooters a couple of years ago. Like I turned into Oprah one night and I just said, listen, you get a scooter, and everybody in my family got an electric scooter, right? And so my wife, we go out, we do 8 miles. That was great. We went for an 8-mile stand. Like, there is no anything being worked. You're standing for 8 miles. I mean, Chad came over. We did it. It was great. It was
better than sitting in a chair.
Yes. So yeah. All right. We're gonna close it now. There are no more lahotches. We're shutting it down.
No more lahotches.
No more lahotches. Oh, but I gotta get your mic covered. Anyway, so Jay, it is always fun. I think we have to run a clock when we work together.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to.
Literally, there's got to be a shot clock, and all of a sudden,
a zapper. Exactly.
Yeah, we it's drown out. We won't hear shit. We have mute control. Absolutely. But I am more than excited. I can't tell you, like, the opportunity you've opened up for us by what the work we're going to do together is extremely exciting. I love the fact that we are 2 different countries working together in collaboration on one show. Right.
Well, I'm honored to work with you guys, and I really am, because
I lahotched him this time. Anyway, so I just tried to wrap up. Stop.
Well, I just say
stop. This is my outro.
This is getting embarrassing now, guys.
It really is. We got to go. All right. So 3, 2, 1, hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you. All right.
Just stop recording and we can still stay.
No, we don't want to stay. I have a wife downstairs who's probably divorced me already. The paperwork was served and I just watched it go out the door.
I've divorced a few.
Yeah. No, I don't want to divorce any. I love her a lot and I like spending time with her. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to CES. We're going to give some content from CES. We're going to NRF, National Retail Federation Show. We're going to do content from there, right?
I'm not going to.
And you're going to promote our presence at CES. When I give you something here, we'll just send you the raw. You can chop it up.
We're also going to stream you in though on Tuesday.
Yeah, but we got to do an announce. The road to CES.
So make sure you bring your mics.
Take us out with the road to CES. This is the last part of our talk show, and we're going to hang up now. Just remember, if you're not listening to Canada's Restaurant Coach and you're not cranking it, you're spanking it. All right, we're good. All right. I feel good about my life now.
All right. Stop record.
Yeah,
button press.